Welcome to This Explainer. So today we're unpacking a really fascinating psychological insight straight from the Diary of a CEO. We're going to look closely at exactly how we communicate with people who are suffering. Look, we all want to be supportive friends and family members, right? But it turns out a super common, everyday phrase that we instinctively use might actually be causing harm. Seriously, it completely flips the script on how we comfort others. Okay, let's dive right into this with a really simple question. I want you to think back to the last time you offered help to someone who was really struggling, or maybe grieving. You probably made a super well-intentioned offer, as we all do, but here's the ultimate test. Has anyone ever actually taken you up on it? Like, have they ever called you back and explicitly let you know that they needed something specific from you? Well, the harsh reality here is the answer is almost always never. If the answer is never, we really have to ask ourselves why that is. And our focus today boils down to 4 specific words that we just instinctively use when someone is going through a hard time. We say these words because we care, obviously, and because society pretty much teaches us to say them. Plus, let's be honest, we often just don't know what else to do when faced with someone else's pain. But despite our absolute best intentions, the mechanics behind these words are, well, fundamentally broken. Think about the hidden psychological weight this extremely common phrase carries. Let me know if. We usually finish it with something like, you need anything, or I can help. It just rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it? We say it at funerals, we type it out in quick text messages, we murmur it in hospital waiting rooms. But here's the kicker. Saying let me know if isn't going to help the person in grief at all. In fact, it achieves the exact opposite of what we're trying to do. And that brings us to the core issue here, which is this massive disconnect between what we intend to do and the actual impact it has on the grieving person. When we offer those 4 words, we think we're offering a lifeline, right? We think we're throwing them a rope. But in reality, we are actually handing them a hidden burden. We're literally taking a task and placing it squarely on the shoulders of someone who is already completely weighed down. There is this huge dissonance between the 2 people in this kind of interaction. On one hand, you have the helper. By saying those words, the helper actually makes things way more comfortable for themselves. They get to walk away thinking, well, you know what? I said all I needed to say. They feel absolved. But then, on the other hand, you have the griever. They haven't actually received help. They've received an obligation. You've essentially just given them a brand new chore. The chore of figuring out what they need, picking up the phone, and actually asking you for it. To really understand why this obligation is so heavy, we kind of have to step inside the mind of the grieving person for a moment. The reality is, the person suffering already feels completely overwhelmed. And the absolute last thing they want is to feel like they are burdening you. I mean, they know you have your own life, your own job, your own family. By telling them to let you know, you're forcing them to actively choose to interrupt your life. And frankly, that's a barrier they simply will not cross. Furthermore, we really have to respect the sheer depth of grief here. In these absolute darkest moments, the grieving person might not even want to live. They don't want to exist in this incredibly painful reality. They don't even know how to navigate their own basic emotions right now, let alone try to mentally organize their life just to figure out what specific task to assign to you as a helper. They are entirely, 100% tapped out. So the absolutely crucial point here is this. If asking them to let you know doesn't work, and actually, as we've seen, only burdens them further, what is the proactive way to genuinely support them? How do we actually break this cycle of well-intentioned but ultimately unhelpful communication? Well, we have to completely change our approach from a passive offer to an active intervention. Basically, we have to stop asking questions and start taking immediate action. The solution is honestly incredibly straightforward. It's literally just 2 steps. Step 1, whatever you naturally thought about doing to help. Whether it's grabbing them some food, doing a chore, running an errand, hold on to that thought. Step 2, totally skip the part where you ask for permission and immediately go do the thing. It's all about trusting your own instinct to help, but completely removing that awful bureaucratic step of making the grieving person approve it first. So, what does this actually look like in practice? Let's talk about a concrete action plan. If you wanted to bring them dinner, don't say, hey, let me know if you need any food. Just go get them food. If you know they're overwhelmed, just go run that errand. Show up and fold their laundry. Go grab your lawnmower and just mow their yard for them. These are practical, immediate actions that require absolutely zero mental bandwidth from the person who is suffering. It all boils down to this really simple philosophy. If I really want you to be there for me, and you really want to be there for the other person, you don't have to ask. You just go do. True support means removing their mental load completely by taking direct action. It's really about shifting the effort from their plate onto yours, unconditionally and without requiring them to act as a manager for your generosity. As we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought. Take a look at your own life right now. Look at your circle of friends, your family, your colleagues. Who is going through a really hard time? Who have you recently told, hey, let me know if you need anything? Think about them for a second, and then ask yourself, whose lawn can you go mow right now without asking?